How is everyone doing? That red light is on. I'm Dave Van Auken. The guy to the right of me, the Professor Jon Radford. No one's been on the podcast more than my guy, Jon Radford. Brother, how are you?
Good, man. Good. It's good to be back, bro. I'm so excited.
Hey, man, this is like old school. This is like 2019 stuff right here.
Oh, you know it. I mean, I look like I'm in 2019. You're HD. I'm over here in 2019 for
Hey,
sure.
man. Hey, I'm going to call Doc Brown right now, man. We'll connect. All right. We'll call Doc Brown.
I
We'll go
like
back to
it.
the future. We'll get it.
I like
Man.
it. I like it. I like it.
All right. Let's get it, dude. The UFC, they're just on fire with fight nights. The London show a couple weekends ago was incredible. Columbus, but when they get a pay-per-view, like when they want you to spend $75 on ESPN Plus, they make it worth it. Like there's no doubt about it. I think I'm going to be in Jacksonville, Florida for this show. I cannot wait. But if I wasn't, I would pay the money to go see it. Great fights, the whole, prelims, all that stuff. But with you and I, we're going to go 15, 20 minutes, especially on those three caliber main event fights. We're going to break it down. All three of them can be the headliner of the card. So I'm excited, man. First of all, with all three of these, this is kind of like the elephant in the room, right? There's three huge, all of them are big favorites to big underdogs, right? And everyone's like, hey, what's your favorite underdog? Well, you got an underdog you like. Let's kind of start there. Is there one out of the three that you're particular like, okay, this is the underdog that I can foresee doing it? Are you a guy like, no, I love all three favorites? Or you're like, no, there can be multiple underdogs that can win Saturday at UFC 273 live in Jacksonville?
There's definitely two underdogs that can win.
Yeah, okay.
There's definitely two.
And then let me just throw this out here real quick, and then I'll let you run with it. Bro, all three underdogs. If I would have said to you, John, like in 2020, hey, who's going to win the pay-per-view? The Korean Zombie, Aljamain Sterling, and Gilbert Burns. You'd be like, oh, yeah, those are three borderline star Hall of Fame type fighters. You'd be like, yeah, that's money. Those are the three underdogs. Like, guys, it's crazy. These guys are so highly skilled. It's pretty crazy, but run with it. Run with it.
It is. It's like you can say all three of them can do the upset. I can predict a way that all three of them, the underdogs, could win. You know what I'm saying? But the two that I think have the best shot, just because we've seen one of the matches already.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We've seen the Peter Yan versus Aljamain Sterling already. Yeah. We know that Peter Yan is I don't want to call him a slow starter, but he's a lather builder.
Yeah.
He builds just the momentum, and it's like he's like the suds just start pouring, and that means it's like he's got it. He's found everything. He puts it together extremely well between the offense to the takedowns to the kickboxing to the boxing itself. Just does a phenomenal job as the fight goes on. So we've seen one of those matchups: Aljamain Sterling, Peter Yan. Haven't seen Korean Zombie versus Alex. Haven't seen Chimaev versus Burns.
Right.
Chimaev usually takes people down and beat the hell out of him. He knocked a guy out, but we would say that he's going to smash him. So he's going to take him down and ground and pound him, choke him out, whatever. Well, but now you on the other side of the candle, you have a world championship jiu-jitsu, phenomenal grappler.
Bro.
Amazing.
Right. Like, just right off the bat, before anymore, out of all three of them, I think the guy that's being overlooked, I know people are talking about Sterling. It feels like it's in a weird way. People are like anti-Sterling just because how he won the championship and all that. Okay. And I think Korean Zombie, like no one dislikes the Korean Zombie. I think almost in a way he's going to get cheered. Like I think he will get cheered. The Cranberry song will come on and people will get excited, like alternative rock is coming back, So, but the one that's getting totally disrespected out of all six of these guys is Gilbert Burns. Like, come on now. He's 20-4 all time. He's 13-4 in the UFC. One of these losses is to the pound-for-pound king right now in the world, Kamaru Usman. I just 13-3 in the UFC. If you take out the Usman, any guy that can go 13-3 in the UFC is just high-end caliber. And this is guy Wonderboy Thompson, one of your all-time faves. You know what I mean? Like he's high-end welterweight contender, and he's just being way overlooked, like totally overlooked. I'll jump more into that later, but I just think out of all six of these guys, Burns is the one that says people are like, this is
I mean, he has the biggest chance. Like he has the most opportunity to win. He
Yeah.
has big power,
Yep.
so he can hit you with something and crack you. You know what I mean? And then on the ground, he might get something slick. You never know. You might get caught. Like he's world class. He's like best of the best level. Nogi jiu-jitsu grappler. Like just in the realm of jiu-jitsu. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and it is MMA. It is different. You get punched while you're on the ground. There's different things, but he's dangerous there. Period. End. He's dangerous on his feet and he's dangerous on the ground. So he has the thing. But if you want to know who I like the best for an underdog,
Yeah. Yeah.
Gilbert
Yeah.
Burns on paper and on skill set against Chimaev probably has the best statistical chance to win out of all the underdogs.
Right.
I just think Korean Zombie brings something a little bit different
Okay.
to the table for an Alexander Volkanovski type character.
Okay.
Um, yeah, we saw him get beat up by Brian Ortega. I'm not gonna lie, you know what I mean. And Volkanovski, we saw that you have to literally choke him unconscious or knock him unconscious to beat him. Like he is hard to do, but the Zombie can do both of those. The
Right.
Zombie has that weird power that you just don't expect, and then he cracks you with something. And I'm just a huge fan too, so I'm gonna I'll fanboy with it a little bit.
Hey,
Like
hey, hey, that's
his
allowed here at the
I
fight for
I
that. You know what I mean?
I
Hey,
agree with you that he's gonna get cheered a lot. He's gonna get cheered a lot, when he goes into the
yeah.
stadium. You're right, but I like him to surprise people. If I was a betting man, and I am sometimes, uh, I would take that chance on that plus what 350, 450.
No, no, brother. On DraftKings, so we're recording this Monday night podcast magic. We're gonna drop this now Tuesday. Right now, I just went to DraftKings 8 minutes ago. Cheo Young Sung, the Korean Zombie, is at plus 525 right now. Like that's what I mean.
Oh yeah, I'm
It
taking.
went to another
I'll take
level.
that. I'll
Yeah,
take that money because this is an MMA fight.
yeah, bro.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely, man. And you just threw out the Ortega fight. One, that fight was a really good one. Brian Ortega's A plus all class too. Like he was this close of defeated Alexander Volkanovski 8 months ago. He's this
Twice,
close.
twice,
There you go. Twice.
twice.
You're right. Twice. So Ortega to me, and I don't think there's any haters out there, but Ortega's A plus high class. Chael Young Sung was in a really good fight against him, and then he kind of had I think it was an inside elbow, wasn't it a weird elbow or backspinning elbow? And ever since then, like he kind of like they said it, like he was on cruise control. He wasn't there. You know what I mean? For those last 2-3 rounds. Go through the competition. This guy's faced Jose Aldo. This guy's faced there's like 3 big names. He's faced all the best featherweights in the world. Like the guy's been through everything. He's
He
been in
also had to
11
take a
main
2-year
events.
break.
Huh?
He also had to take a 2-year break in the middle of his career.
Right. And it's funny you say that. So you and me we're always on the same page. I feel like we're like these savvy old vets. There's a lot of young kids in the game, on the media side and the MMA game and the basketball game. We just saw March Madness, a great Final Four over the weekend. WrestleMania was over the weekend. We're a little long in the tooth, but that's fine. I think we're okay with it. You know what I mean? I think it's unbelievable that all 3 of the favorites are the younger fighter in all 3 matchups too. So that's like a little something there. And I think, like you said, that he's 35, but I don't know, man. I think Volkanovski, if I could say out of all 6 of these guys, might be the best out of all 6. I think he's one of the most underrated. And I like the pick too. I like the upset. I've been saying this all week. I think all 3 underdogs could win. I think it could be that crazy of a night, and especially if Jacksonville is just popping. And you sometimes, when one guy wins, if Gilbert starts this chain of this upset, and then Sterling keeps it going, like it'd just be one of those things. You know what I mean? It could be one of those nights. And I don't know. I think Volkanovski. I like Volkanovski in the fight, and I actually like Volkanovski to stop Korean Zombie. I think Korean Zombie will be ultra aggressive. The crowd, the main event, I think he really will be cheered. I like Volkanovski to stop him in my 2 cents, but I like the pick at 525. And if you want to do any kind of parlays via DraftKings, I like Korean Zombie a lot. I do want to get back to the Burns thing. I want to go all in. Feel like we went over Jan and Sterling too quick. How many times have you watched that first fight, Sterling versus Jan?
I think I watched it to 100% honesty. I watched it 1 full time live, remember it all.
Yeah.
And then lots of bits and pieces and highlights.
Okay. you same thing with you. We watch so much content, so much MMA content. And the last week they kind of did it back on YouTube. They put it on the UFC YouTube channel. So I was like, man, I just want to kind of refresh it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to go there. Like I said, I probably will be there in Jacksonville, Florida myself. I was like, let me just watch this again. Sterling for 9 minutes won and controlled the fight. Like, I was blown away. I don't remember how good Sterling looked for those first 9 minutes. Like, I was like, whoa. I think he went a little bit maybe too quick. I think he was a little bit too much on the gas. And like you said, Jan is so like a computer. Sometimes it takes a while to kind of warm up and for it to kind of open. You got the AOL, you got the dial up over here, and you got, all this stuff over there. But when anything is open and everything is rolling, 7 minutes in the fight, that's when Jan really turns it up. And we saw that against Sandhagen, like the second, third, fourth round. Guy's on another freaking level. Like Petr Yan is on another freaking level. But I think Sterling has a legit shot too. I think he has a really good shot. No, everyone forgets how great Sterling is on the ground. Like Sterling can catch Jan in a real crazy transitional kind of piece down there in the mat. So
what did you say the marker is that you would say that his lather started, starting to foam, starting to really find his zone, his range, what minute marker?
It really was. I remember watching it and I kind of thought, wow, like something noticeable. It was really around a minute left in the second round. It was like 8-9 minutes. And the second round was a good round, but like the last minute, I'm like, oh, Jan definitely won that round. And you felt like the reach and everything, like he computed everything. And he's like, okay, I'm ready now. It's my turn. And I think he almost maybe won the second round. That second round was super close. I still maybe gave it to Sterling, but he started to take over at the end.
What happened after that?
Oh, he dominated him.
Okay, that's the wording you would use, is dominated?
Yeah. Especially.
Okay. He has the exact same amount of time, maybe a minute to 2 minutes less to finish Jan. Otherwise, it happens the same way, and he gets finished.
Sterling gets finished. That's what you're saying?
If he doesn't stop Jan with takedown, jiu-jitsu, take him and choke him out with some type of way within that first 7, maybe 8, it's gonna happen quicker. Unless,
I agree.
Unless Aljamain did something majorly to change the rhythm of his fighting. He downloaded him once in 9 minutes. He'll download him again in 7.
Yeah, I totally agree. And now Ray Longo is really, he's on the Anik and Florian podcast week in, week out. And I listen to it. I try to get so much MMA content and kind of bring my, I kind of get all this information and then I put my Dave spin on it. You know what I mean? Longo is saying he looks incredible and Sterling looks incredible. If I was his coach, right? Petr Yan with the boxing and the crispness to it and just even the leg strikes, you're not going to outstrike the man, right? To me, no bantamweight in the world
only
is going to
outstrike. Only in the first 7 minutes are you going to do it.
Right. And even that, like, it wasn't like I never felt Sterling was going to stop him with striking.
No. He was just pointing him.
Yeah, exactly.
The jab was landing a little bit, couple different things, but it was all getting downloaded.
Right. So the way that Sterling is going to win the fight, if I'm his coach, if I'm, Coach K for Duke, and I'm like going into the game plan, if I'm Ray Longo and say, hey, this is how we're going to win this fight. It's all about grappling. It's all about wrestling. It's all about submission attempts. It's all about, you got to change it up. You cannot do the same game plan that you did for Petr Yan the first time you fought. He should wrestle heavy. He should be Colby Covington almost, kind of maybe push the pace, push the cardio, kind of what he did with Jorge, right? Just last month, the UFC 272, kind of jab a little bit, strike, but everything is going towards grappling. Colby Covington, the whole fight, just wanted to push Jorge against the cage and wrestle and grapple. That's what Sterling should do with Petr Yan. And I think if he does that, it could get a little sketchy. Could.
Only if he does that and he can get to his back or finish him in the 7 minutes, because you forget, Jan turns into a takedown like defense wizard as the fight goes on too. When he finds his striking, his hips are out. He's ready to go. He even takes you down to let you know, I can do this to you and I can do this to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
After he finds your rhythm and he's got you worried about his hands and his boxing, because it's so clean. I mean, his boxing is so clean for MMA. And
I was just going to say, out of those three guys on DraftKings, Sterling at plus 350 is the lowest underdog, if you want to say. Sterling's 350, Burns 375, Zombies 525 on the plus side. On the minus side, Volkanovski minus 760 and a nasty, nasty number. Chimaev is at minus 510, which is incredible. We're going on that next. I got something with that. And Petr Yan minus 475, which is, it's high. It's really, really freaking high. I don't really like betting on any three of those favorites. I don't feel that strongly on anyone to bet that high, to 4, 5 to 1, 7 to 1. To me, is absurd, right? Like, do you feel comfortable on betting on any one of those favorites just by itself?
Like if I had that to bet,
yeah. If you had 10K in the bank right now, and they DraftKings are like, hey, make a strong bet, may put 10K on one of these guys. Who would you put 10K on?
Jan.
Okay. No, me too.
Because I feel like after 7 minutes, like you said, I feel like it just becomes a snipe show. It becomes like whatever he wants. He's so good in the rhythm, and as the fight goes on, it's ridiculous.
I agree. Okay. Well, we're a lot on the same page here. This is my thing. UFC 273. The fruit is at the end of the tree limbs. I like Gilbert Burns. I'm picking Gilbert Burns. I'm not going to be on a seesaw. I'm not going back and forth and saying, oh, Chimaev is great. Yeah, Chimaev is great. Really good. Maybe one day a world champion. I've no shade to Chimaev. 10-0, only 4-0 in the UFC. I think Gilbert Burns, 20-4, 35 years old. Like you said, just has so many different ways to win. He can win on points, like he did to Wonderboy Thompson just 5-7 months ago. He can win with the power shot. We know the ground game and the jits game, and I feel like he is going to give something to Chimaev that he's never felt in a combat sports. And I know he just wrestled Jack Hermanson too a couple months ago. He's never felt that BJJ skills of Gilbert Burns live. He has never felt it in competition. Maybe close to it in the practice and when he's rolling around. But with 17,000 people in Jacksonville and then the opportunity to get choked out for good, he's never felt that high skill level of Gilbert Burns. And I think Gilbert Burns is, I think he, relishes this underdog spot that he's in. I got Gilbert Burns winning this fight and stopping Chimaev. We're not going 15 minutes here. He's going to stop Chimaev in this fight.
It's okay. So I agree that if he wins, that's how he wins. I don't think it's points.
Right.
Because I don't think because the way he won against Wonderboy with points was with many takedowns.
Yeah.
And holding him there and hitting him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't think you're going to do that with Chimaev technically to be able to hold him there to hit him. You're going to have to try to submit him.
Right.
So you're going to get up, you're going to point him with some boxing here and there. So I definitely see more his winning route is more towards the finish. Yep. But if you want to, I don't think his finish comes in one of two ways. One is a quick guillotine. I don't think anything off his back is going to happen. It's got to be a guillotine he shoots, you know what I mean? He sneaks it in, something really high elbow, real deep, whatever, whatever you want to call it.
I like that.
Maybe something real quick off the cage, jump it, bang, squeeze. You have that's Gilbert Burns. He could get that. But I think he might touch him.
Yeah.
I think he might touch him for his finish, and it may come in like the second or third when Chimaev's never been that deep.
Yeah.
And it's more a little bit of his exhaustion because the one thing I don't agree with you on, and you completely flipped me. We talked a little bit before, and you flipped me on this. I like betting on Gilbert too. I like Gilbert to win this one. Yeah. Just like I'm on the page with you with that. You really flipped me on that. But the one thing I don't agree with is I don't think Chimaev is going to be too small for the moment. I just think he's never fought deep enough into those rounds like Gilbert has.
Right. Yeah.
And I know what you mean, but he's never felt that. He's never done that. I don't think that's going to come into play as much as he's going to be like, holy shit, I'm kind of tired.
Yeah. And
Gilbert's going to catch him with something.
If I said that, I probably maybe didn't, explain it better enough or kind of communicate it good enough. It's not about the moment or the crowd of Jacksonville, so say, or it's just about he's never been into a 15-minute contest against someone as high level as Gilbert Burns. Like, he's just never felt that. I don't care what you do in the training camps, and I don't care what you do in your practices when it's controlled, and you kind of know, hey, guys, we're going at 80 or 85%, and I'm not going to try to kill you. Like, we are not killing each other here. Or if I get tapped out, it's fine. I'm trying to learn here in practice. He's never went against Gilbert Burns and a time of, if he taps out, the fight's over, or if he doesn't tap out, he's going unconscious, like Chimaev just did Young like a couple months ago. And one thing you said about touching him, and I think that this is an underrated thing about Gilbert, right? So I would assume, right, if Chimaev is somehow in the ground, or if Gilbert gets his back somehow, or in this crazy guillotine, something happens, Chimaev is going to go in total defense mode of not getting his neck, choked out. You know what I mean? He's going to do whatever it takes. I think Burns might be a little sneaky of, he knows that instead of kind of going for the second submission or flipping over, like, let's go ham right now. Like, let's go ham. Like, we kind of were on his back here instead of going for a neck. Like, boom, 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 3-4 ground and pound over the top, even on the back, short elbows, something different. Like, I was just at the PFL a couple weeks ago. There's a heavyweight, and he was on his back trying to get the submission. And the guy kind of like, they said it's like he went through the 5-hole. He kind of like had his arms super wide so he didn't get his neck choked. And this big heavyweight PFL right underneath, and boom, just literally like kind of and like in a dog.
I saw it. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So like, I just think something like that. I think something could happen in a, Chimaev's in a weird spot, weird state, and Gilbert with the heavy hands not standing, but is in a, on the cage, on the grapple. And remember Travis Brown did this a couple times. Someone had him like wrestling on him. He just boom, short elbow to death, and he kind of murked some guys. I don't know, man. Hey, if Chimaev beats Gilbert Burns, like, even I'd be like, all right, that's it. I'm done. I'm like that with Tom Aspinall right now. He's the best heavyweight in the world. I'm over it. I'll give him all of his flowers. If Chimaev puts Burns away in 2-3 minutes, I'm done. He's the best fighter in the world. Give him 2 titles, but I like Gilbert Burns in this spot a lot. Like, I love this spot for him.
No, I agree with you, but you know what's going to happen now that we both agree on this, and this is like our first time back in a minute. Like, we're going to be dead wrong. We're going to be dead wrong.
Yeah. It's going to go like Chimaev, Sterling, and then Volk.
Yeah.
And Volk, it'd be like 25 minutes. It'd be like a bad fight because I think that fight. I think Volkanovski, Korean Zombie is the fight of the night.
Yeah, I think they scrap for a good 3 to 4 rounds.
Yeah, I think it's even grappling wise, transitional wise, stand up wise, and multiple different stand up. Korean Zombie doesn't just throw straight punches, elbows and spinning and kicks. He does a lot of crazy things. And Volkanovski does some wild shit too.
And he always walks forward.
Oh, yeah.
Just walks forward. It's just like it's crazy.
All right. We said 15, 18 minutes. We're 23 minutes. Your 3 picks, UFC 273. Are you going Burns, Jan, Volkanovski, or Zombie?
Yeah, I'm a fanboy, so my main event pick is just because I'm also a Max Holloway fan, so Volkanovski has broken my heart too many times. So I'm going with my other boy, the Korean Zombie, and then I got Jan, and I got Burns. I'm like you. I'm gonna take Burns, man. I think he's gonna. I think round late 2, 3, he touches him. He gets him. You know what I mean?
Love those picks. Probably maybe my favorite thing we do. So just to say, let's just go. Those 3 guys won. Let's just kind of go there. What's next for Burns? What's next for Jan? What would be next for Korean Zombie?
If Korean Zombie wins,
will they do a rematch?
No. Oh, well, maybe, but you could throw Max Holloway right in there.
Yeah, I love that too. I was just going to say that. Imagine if Zombie gets all that buzz of beating Volkanovski 23-1, the best featherweight in the world, no question asked. Zombie versus Max Holloway is like, woo, that's a big fight. Fight.
You could put that in Hawaii and get many people to come in. You could put that in Japan and vice versa. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or not Japan. You could put that in Korea and vice versa. I apologize about that. But you know what I mean? Like, you could do that. You could put that anywhere and it would be sell. But like Max Holloway was always a draw from my understanding. Like
Yeah.
I think everybody loved watching Max, as a champion fight because he always put on a spectacular performance. Even in the losses to Volkanovski, those were great fights.
Like you can, I'm fanboying over Tom Aspinall. You can do like main event is Max Holloway, Korean Zombie, and the co-main is like Tai Tuivasa versus Tom Aspinall. Like that's some good shit
Oh my
right there.
God, let's go. Let's
You
go.
know what I'm
Let's
saying?
go. Absolutely.
Peter Yan, if he wins, who's next for him? Who's in the bantamweight? Is it? I hear that they want to do Jose versus Dominic. I hear that's in the works. Is it TJ Dillashaw? Does he get the next crack at him just straight up?
You know what? Whatever. If you want to know my truth, if you want to know the truth about it, I think after Peter Yan gets rid of Aljamain Sterling, because I really think I really think it really goes kind of like the same way last time without the knee.
Right.
He just starts getting dominated. I think that Peter Yan could run the table in that division for a minute.
Yeah.
Like what he did with Sandhagen, you know what I mean? And then there's just like all that, like, I think he could run that for a minute. So it really doesn't matter who you throw to him. I think he beats up Jose Aldo again.
Yeah, I do too. And I think with that being a rematch and just not enough, I think you throw in TJ Dillashaw, something for Jan. That they could do that at the end of the year. TJ would be healthy enough. You put that in November or December in a co-main event for a pay-per-view, pretty good. I got the welterweight. I think this is easy. I think you will 100% agree. Gilbert Burns wins this fight. Usman's the pound for pound king. He's going to fight Leon June, July, August. I think it's in July. To me, it is absolutely Gilbert Burns versus Colby Covington, number one contendership in the welterweight division.
Yeah.
You with that?
Yeah.
Like, I just think Burns, like, who else does he can't, like, you can't go
they
that much
fought
forward.
Before, right? They haven't fought before.
They've never fought before. And that's like the two best. That's 1 and 2 outside of Usman. You know what I mean? That's like, I know they both fought Usman and Colby's fought him twice, but I think Covington versus Burns is a great matchup. Holy crap.
Now I agree. I think that's the best next setup matchup.
Yeah.
Besides Korean Zombie Holloway, that's the next best setup matchup. Is that one right there? I would be more excited about Gilbert Burns, Colby Covington than Jan versus TJ Dillashaw.
And all three, I was going to say Dana White. We just gave you Covington, Burns, Dillashaw, Jan, and we just gave you Zombie, Max Holloway in Hawaii. Like,
yeah,
we just did it for him. Rest of the year's done.
It's over. But let's flip it one more real quick second because I'm interested. Chimaev wins.
If he beats Gilbert Burns in 2 minutes, I do think he probably fights Usman quickly. Like, I know Usman's got, it looks, I don't know why that's not confirmed. It's pretty wonky. And to be really honest, I think even Dana White, if Chimaev beats Gilbert Burns in 2 minutes and doesn't get touched, I think he would even kind of when the iron's hot and just like, hey, Usman, take care of Chimaev before Leon, whatever. Like, let's just make this, because
you think he skips the line if he beats Gilbert Burns in the first round?
Yeah, I skips it.
He jumps Leon.
You go to Universal Studios and they got that new Jurassic Park roller coaster, and you get the fast pass. You don't just wait in line like everyone else. Leon Edwards has been waited online for like 4 years, Professor. You get the fast pass and you just skip it. Just skip him.
Wow, man. They could swing it and make it work, but it would be the most giant slap in the face ever to Leon Edwards, ever.
Or, you ready for this one? This is what you do. This is what they really do. I think even Dana and Leon, there was like some social media stuff that it's booked and they just haven't announced it yet. You make that fight and you make Chimaev the backup. Because those two guys have been wonky. That's not happened. I wouldn't even mind Chimaev Leon if something happens with Usman for the interim title. They could do that. Or if something happens with Leon for the 19th time out of 20th, you go Chimaev Usman right away.
Yeah.
He's the backup.
There you go.
I like that.
That makes more like proper sense.
Right.
You know what I mean? You
And
can
then
make that swing and have a right for either one of them, and then justify whatever happens.
And let's keep it going. So let's go the other way. I think it's funny. So if Aljamain Sterling beats Petr Yan and wins the title, like everyone was saying, hey, they got to do it again. Like you can argue that Sterling's got 2 wins over Yan, and he doesn't like the guy. Like I don't think they do that again. I think
No, they
Sterling,
don't. They
Corey
don't.
Sandhagen,
TJ
Sterling,
Dillashaw's
TJ.
either way.
Yeah, okay,
TJ
either
Dillashaw
way.
either way.
And then of course, I think you're gonna love this either way. Volkanovski, if he beats Korean Zombie, they did try to set up this versus Holloway. I think you got to do that for the 3rd time. I know he beat him twice on the on the stats. You can argue Max Holloway won that fight both times as well. I think you go Volkanovski, Holloway in the trilogy.
That fight proved to me that it showed that takedowns mean more than knockdowns, and
Yeah, I
it
know.
it
That's
just
not
doesn't
right,
make any
man.
sense. It
Not
doesn't
right.
make any sense.
Like,
in my opinion, a knockdown was a forced happening of you falling, and that means you were hurt for a second of some sorts, right? Because you've involuntarily fell.
right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And I know a takedown is you involuntarily fell, but it doesn't necessarily do damage.
Yeah. I know there's only like 9 people that still watch Major League Baseball anymore, but if you get like 6 singles in a game, that doesn't mean you score any runs. If you hit a home run, you get a run. Like if you,
Yes.
Max Holloway, you get a drop down take, you knock the guy so hard he kind of falls over and falters for 3-4 seconds. That is more meaningful than grappling and then taking him down, kind of controlling them, and then him popping back up in 40 seconds.
Yes,
Just
exactly.
is. But
Exactly.
we
But
did
no,
the
you're
dance.
right. I think all those either which way we do it, I think like talk about it, whoever wins, I think those are all good picks. I think that makes the most logical sense in the MMA world right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. Going forward, yeah, the Chimaev for the title and somewhere in the backup. Burns will fight Covington, maybe even win or lose too. Jan, I think, yeah, whoever wins out of Jan and Sterling gets Dillashaw. And yeah, whoever wins out of Volkanovski and Korean Zombie gets Holloway, unless if Korean Zombie, really, wonky split decision, they want to re-go this. But I'm excited, man. That UFC Jacksonville, they were there around 14, 16 months ago when they got over COVID. Rose Namajunas, Valentina Shevchenko, and Kamaru Usman stole the show that night. Cannot wait. UFC 273, we're like 3 days away. Chimaev, Burns, Jan, and Sterling, and Volkanovski, Korean Zombie. The Professor Jon Radford, man. What's up? What's going on? Anything new and rising on the that Pete White boxing MMA? You got something, guys, brewing?
We're putting together a little like scrimmage per se for a bunch of kids, kind of like a little, mash up, real quick to get some kids some sparring, and things like that. Some because there's not a lot of shows necessarily happening right now for boxing. Picks up a little bit later, but other than that, just getting the guys ready again. We're looking for Chris to, get another one. Hopefully
You
in
got the
May.
PFL fighter, PFL winner, Chris Mixon.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And if you're talking about a scrimmage, I don't know. I had a good sweat today, man. I'm thinking like middleweight for me now. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking like
Okay. I see
middleweight.
you. I see. Hey,
I had a
bro.
good little sweat today.
Those are legit dad arms carrying twins around all day, bro. That's what
That's
those
all I
are. I
do.
see those guns. You got
That's
bigger
all I
guns
do.
than I do.
Bro, I was at Disney Springs. I had like 4 bags of Legos I'm carrying for the kids. I got like 45 pounds and $220 worth of Legos I'm fucking walking around Disney Springs.
Bro,
Dad muscle,
Dad's strength is real, bro. Dad's
Real
strength
thing.
is real.
Real thing. My guy, man, we got to do this way more often. That's the Professor Jon Radford, UFC 273, 4 or 5 days away. Cannot wait. Will be a hell of a show. The kids say it might be a bananas type of a show. You never know.
Oh, it's always bananas, baby. It's always
All right.
bananas.
My guy, we'll talk to you soon, brother. All right.
Yes, sir.